What's going on, guys? Today's the day. All those videos that you saw earlier playing 2040 and stuff was in preparation for today. 5100 here at Hustler Casino Live. I'm a little bit late, but hey, I'm minus maybe 40K in the road to $1 million so far, but it could all be erased today, so wish me the best of luck. We're gonna buy in for at least 100,000 to start. Should be a fun game. The last couple sessions I've literally won no pots, and today I'm gonna try to win at least 2 pots today. That's the goal. Always with just luck. Today's a big day. Let's get it.
Back under the bright lights of Hustler, we're playing 50-100 with the $100 big blind ante. I've got $100,000 and a dream. Let's climb out of this downswing one hand at a time. About 20 minutes into the stream, we're getting spicy right off the bat. Dylan in the cutoff raises it up to $300. I pick up ace-4 of clubs in the small blind and decide to 3-bet this one to $1,500. In hindsight, don't have to raise this one, but hey, I'm down piles. Let's just build some pots. So make it 1,500, and Dylan immediately now 4 bets to 5,000, and without even thinking, I decide to go all in, covering his stack about $28,000 total. Maybe should have thought about this one before committing almost $30,000 with just an ace. Anyways, he snap calls. That cannot be good news for me. You can see on the screen, I am dominated in here. One time, we're going to run this one a $56,000 pot, and immediately he drills the straight on the turn, and yeah, that's not going to be good for me. He scoops a $56,000 pot against me to start the session. He catches my punt, returns it for a touchdown, and here we go. I am not super thrilled about this, but hey, I add on for another 100K. We're 200K deep into the session here after doubling up my opponent, really just gifting him a free $30,000 because I'm just that nice of a friend.
Guys, super excited to announce the latest merch drop, something that I've been working on for a long time, and starting things off, this might be one of my favorites here, the new rebranded Luck Box. It is a roller coaster style and indicative of the swingy past few months that I've had, losing a couple of 100,000, winning a couple 100,000, and we're on quite the roller coaster. So I thought that was pretty indicative of the past few months that I've had in poker. Second, I'm wearing twice of this because this is obviously my favorite, brand new signature premium Luck Box hoodie. And it's something that we took a lot of time with sourcing the right hoodie because we wanted something that's high quality, something that's premium, something that feels more luxurious. So we've got my favorite color, the light blue, and also the black style. Last hoodie that we're gonna have is when, well, luck turns into fuck. When you get sucked out on. This is indicative of, well, losing and kind of what I've been doing the past couple of months. And last but not least, punter hats, brand new, something that I really wanted to work on. Obviously, works well with the brand, and it's kind of similar to like the Michael Jordan logo with the basketball, but in punter form, poker form. Anyways, I appreciate all the support that you guys have brought me onto the channel and given me the opportunity to play a bunch of poker. And with all the love that I received from the merch that you see behind me, I've always wanted to give back to you guys who support the channel the most. So in every single order that you're gonna receive, I have a custom Rampage card that's gonna be inserted into your order and package. There's gonna be 4 lucky people that are gonna get gold versions of this. And when you get a gold version, that means that you win $500. And as a big thank you of obviously supporting me, I want to give you guys some of the money as well in the proceeds from the merch drop. So if you're one of the 4 lucky people that receives the gold Rampage card, then collect your $500 by emailing the rampagepokerstore@gmail.com. The merch drop is available for a limited time at rampagepokerstore.com. Check out the link in the description below. Thank you all for the support, and let's get into the video.
30 minutes after that, I pick up a real hand, pocket kings. I'm in the cutoff, and I raise it up to $400. Nick on the button to my left 3-bets me to $1,200. Now Dylan makes the call on the big blind, and I want a little bit more of my chips here. Look, with kings, beautiful hand to see. I 4-bet to $6,500. And surprisingly, I get both customers to come along and call. So it looks like I'm going to get more money shipped my way. We've got a pretty big pot ballooning up here. And the flop is none other than ace 8-7. Oh, man. Kings, pocket kings. They really are the ace magnet. Here, when Dylan checks over to me, I still feel like I must bet on this board. You know, ace is supposed to be better for all the hands that I have. Obviously not with kings, but hey, I throw $2,000 out in the middle, about 10% pot. And I get Nick to make the call, and Dylan calls as well, which I'm not super thrilled about, if I'm being honest with you here. So getting called multi-way, we're off to a turn we go, which comes a board pairing 7. Dylan checks again to me, and I take my time to think about my options of what I want to do. It is a little bit scary when both opponents call my bet, although my bet was quite small to begin with. Anyways, I decided to slow down and check with just kings, and I'm expecting to call any bets, but this one, Nick throws $14,000. This size I am not super thrilled about. It's a little bit scary, and when Dylan eventually folds, now I am just in a pretty awful situation with pocket kings here, to be honest with you. I think Nick certainly can have lots of bluffs, and, as played, I probably should be calling here, but I'm just afraid of the sizing that he chose, to be honest with you. I mean, he's betting the 2 other opponents here on an ace-high board. Is he really going to be bluffing that often, especially for this large of a bet size? I'm not sure, but we're early on in the session, and I just elected on a disciplined fold. And you can see the discipline is not paying off. I'm going all in at the wrong times, and I'm folding at the wrong time, so I'm not playing great overall, but hey, kudos to Nick for bluffing off in this spot with 6 high, winning a $40,000 pot. We need to make some moves here. This next spot here, I'm in the big blind and limp in for 200. Nick now on the straddle raises to $1,200, and with ace jack off suit, definitely feel like I have a good hand to 3-bet. So I make it $6,000 and Nick calls. So another massive pot brewing here, over 12K in the middle, and I'm out of position. And the flop is gin, ace, jack. Let's go, guys. Are you kidding me? Flopping a full house is always super fun. And here I think I bet really small last time with kings on an ace high board. So, I can't always play face up. I must also try to bet small here, I think is the strategy I'm thinking in my head, while I have, the nuts, because I have a full house. So I throw $2,500 into the middle, and that's small enough for Nick to call. So we're going to go to a turn which comes a board pairing jack. So I don't know how I feel about this card, to be honest with you. I don't love it because I think it does kill some of my action. But hey, maybe my opponent has the last jack. Who knows? But I'm praying. I check it over to Nick, and now Nick throws out a really small bet this time of $1,600. And now I'm all sorts of confused at this point with this really small bet. Is he trying to induce me to raise? Is this a size that I can just call for whatever reason, to be honest? I'm not entirely sure what to make of this bet. I think Nick's a really good field player and he has really good intuition. So maybe he's trying to do some leveling of inducing me to raise. And obviously I have a really good hand. So I don't know what to make of this small bet. I feel like calling seems really bad considering I have a full house, of course, and I have the nuts. So I raised up to $16,000 hoping Nick has something, and sadly he does not, as he snap folds pocket sixes, double counterfeited 3-pair. And I'm going to take this one down plus 10K in this hand here, which is at least a little bit of a rebound. In the following spot, we've got some really big straddles going on here, 400, 800. Shout out to Nick for putting on the $800 straddle. Your casual 50-1-2-4-8 game. Action folds to me with 6-5 off suit. I decided to limp in for $400 more. I call, and Nick checks his option. Flop coming 10-9-9 rainbow. Look, I've got 6 high. Here, for one reason or another, I certainly could do a mix of everything, checking and betting. I decided to throw out $800 here, and my opponent snap calls. So you can see this cannot be good for me. But the turn is a little bit better in the 8 of spades. So now I improve to a gut shot straight draw, albeit not the best one, but hey, I do have some equity. So for that reason, I decided to blast off $3,000 into the middle here, almost betting the size of the pot for $3,000. And you see on the graphics, you see Nick is not going anywhere. I need this straight to come in. Anyways, he does make the call for 3K, and the river is the 4 of spades. And, well, I have come this far. Can I ever get Nick to fold a 10 of some sort? Or an 8? Or just ace high? He could always have some draws and stuff. So 6 high and a dream, I decided to bet about the size of the pot. $10,000 to go. And you can see that I am just, once again, donating to Nick here because he has a 9. He raises me to $35,000 and I just snap fold. So Here, shout out to Nick for finding a very, very nice flop and just slow playing it and letting me blast off into an oblivion. So the rough night continues after only winning one hand so far, about 3 hours into the session. But there's always time to play here because the next spot, we've got more straddles here. $400 straddle is on. There's a hijack player who limps in for $400. The button raises to 2K. And I look down at King 9 of diamonds in the big blind. Hey, if there's ever a spot to go for it, I do think against a button raise who could be quite wide in the spots is okay. Okay, so me and Dylan have some history. I've doubled him up once. I don't want to double him up again here, but hey, with King 9 of diamonds, let's go for it. I 3-bet to $7,000 in this spot and action fold to Dylan, who ends up making the call. So we're going to go heads up to a flop of 10-10-9. And here with one diamond, so I have a backdoor flush draw. I've got a pair with a pretty good kicker. I decided to check in this spot. For one reason or other, I can certainly do a mix of both, of checking and betting. And I think with this hand, you want to have some strong hands while you're checking. So I opted for that option, and wisely I do, because I don't know what Dylan's hand is, but you can see on graphics, it's not going to go well for me. Dylan throws out $6,000 into the middle, about 40% pot, and I am never folding my 9, of course. I'll also have a very good kicker. If only it was just as good as Dylan's, though. If only I knew that. I decided to make the call for $6,000. And the turn is a beautiful deuce of diamonds, picking up the flush draw. I check once again. I think the plan is going to be check jamming. But hey, doesn't matter because my opponent goes all in himself for about $18,000. What am I supposed to do here? I'm never going to be folding my hand. I snap call, of course. I've got a 9. I've got a good kicker. I expect my hand to be good a lot of the time. Also, I have the flush draw if I need it, and I do need it, fellas. I need this more than you ever know. I am down so much money at Hustler so far. I've run so bad. Can I suck out against Ace-9 River? 7 of diamonds. Thank you, dealer. We made it. We've arrived to Bink City. The suck out gets there, and so does $63,000. The pot gets shipped my way. Thank goodness this feels so good. Also on the flip side, though, I will say it does feel a little bit bad that this is the only way for me to win pots is by sucking out today, it seems like. Well played by Dylan. Very, very unfortunate and unlucky. At least I can sleep at night because I did give Dylan $28,000 to start the session. And I got it all back by suck out. I didn't really necessarily earn this one, but still very nice to win a big pot like this. It was much needed for the morale and much needed for the bankroll. Moving right along, let's get the momentum going here, okay? I just sucked out with diamonds. Let's play another hand, a 6-7 of diamonds here. I'm in the cutoff, and there's a hijack player who limps in, and I put in a raise to 1,500. Get Francisco in the big blind to make the call out of position. Hijack calls as well. So we're going to go to a flop of King 10, 3, 2 diamonds here. Multi-way in a single raise pot. I think this board is definitely going to favor me over my opponents, and also having some equity like the flush draw is a really good recipe for throwing some money in the middle. And I throw $2,500 into the middle here. And wow, little do we know, we get both opponents to call me, which is quite scary, to be honest with you. So let's hope to hit. The turn is the Jack of clubs. Backdoor flush draw. Very, very good card for Francisco, of course. And when action checks to me again, I think I'm just going to take the free card. It's a little bit scary when both opponents call. I do have to be a little bit cautious. And why not just take the free card while I have it? And it comes the 8 of diamonds. Another bink. Let's go. Hitting back-to-back flushes and hopefully what will be big pots here. And it does not disappoint because Francisco comes in for a bet of $4,000. The other opponent folds and gets out of the way. And of course, I'm going to be throwing in some raising chips into the middle. But how much do I want to raise exactly? I go back and forth over wanting to raise to $12,000, wanting to raise to $20,000. And I ultimately just decided to go win the middle somewhere and raise to $18,000, thinking that this is enough to get 2 pairs to call, and hoping he has something like that. I must assume that calling with a set is definitely winning here a lot of the time, especially against me. But not this time, Francisco, unfortunately. My flush is going to win, and an almost $50,000 pot gets pushed my way, cracking Francisco's set of jacks. And here we are. The momentum is here. I'm just got to take advantage of it, winning back-to-back big pots with flushes, and everything is leading up into this perfect prime moment. I pick up pocket kings again. Can I redeem myself from the first time I got kings? Because that was an ace high flop. This time I'm on the button and there's a hijack raised $300. With a premium hand like this and against an opponent who has not played many hands, I'm loving this situation as I 3-bet to $1,200. Nick on my left in the small blind decides to cold call the $1,200 here. And then the hijack player goes all in. This is music to my ears. I can't even believe this. I asked for a count just to make sure, like, how much is the bet? Because I only raised it $1,200. It's not that much. And it looked like he had over $20,000 in his stack, and the dealer counts out $25,000 and $875. Well, I think I have an easy spot with kings here. But I don't want to snap call just on like the very, very off chance I think Nick might have a hand, but I think it's very unlikely anyways. So I don't Hollywood for too long. I waited maybe 10 seconds or so, longer than I'm speaking right now, to be honest with you. So I do end up making the call, of course, with kings. And oh my goodness, Nick does not fold yet. What is happening? I don't understand what's going on, but I'm thinking in my head, what is going on? Because some siren bells are happening because Nick still hasn't folded yet. It's a little bit scary because he covers me and I have over $200,000 in my stack. And oh my God, he announces all in. I have no decision. I must snap call. You almost couldn't even see it on stream with how fast this happened. Let's try to replay, try to slow things down. He announces all in, and I just immediately put my chips down because what else am I going to do with a hand this strong? Sometimes I wish I could think about it for a little bit, opposed to going against my instincts and calling, but I didn't want to talk myself out of a fold. And just like that, almost a $500,000 pot has ballooned up out of nowhere. The main pot is about $75,000, $76,000. To be honest with you, I really couldn't care about it because the side pot between Nick and I is almost $400,000. And against the other two opponents right now, you can see ace, king, and queens. I've got 52% equity. Nick is gracious enough to ask me how many times I want to run the board, and I just plead for twice. This is a pot worth the amount that the house is that I live in right now. Will I win another house, potentially? We will find out because we're running it twice. First run out is safe. With every single card that runs out, my heart is beating faster and faster. I'm down $1 million. And winning this pot here would mean so much to just not be stuck over that $1 million. If I can make a little bit of progress and win almost 200K in this pot, I would be very happy with that. So the first run out is good. And now I'm just trying to fade an ace and a queen. So second run out, 9-9-3, looking clean. Turn, no face card, no nose side. It's a 7 of spades. Once again, looking around the table, if anyone has spades, I think we're good unless Nick has a spade. The river, 10 of hearts, and I scoop one of the biggest pots of my life. And I think probably the biggest pot I've played at Hustler Casino Live so far in 2024. Heart is pounding, but luckily I faded the sweat. It's literally incredible to think that I literally just won a flip for a house. I had 52% equity. That is merely just a flip. And here, the lovely dealer counts out all my chips. This is quite the process because you want to be accurate with everything. So I'm happy to have everything done correctly in the right way. And just like that, $473,475 pushed my way. And this is one of the better ways to end the stream, as the stream was nearing its end, and it's hard to say there are too many other highlights that happened after a monstrous pot like this. Heart is still pounding as I do this commentary, but nice to be up around $250,000, $250,000 after this pot, and luckily things went well. As you can see at the end of the night graphic show, I'm up almost $280,000. Nice to breathe a big sigh of relief after a rough couple months of poker. Well, I got home. I feel like this outro
to wrap up the video needed some sort of a more official, proper ending, and some sort of reflecting, decompressing of a really good day. First really good poker session in a very, very long time. So, yeah, I just got home and like, here are my thoughts. So I ignited my stack, hand number 3 to Dylan with ace 4 suited. That was unnecessary. And I guess one positive note is that I'm proud that I didn't ignite the rest of my stack for the next 5.5 hours of the stream. So there's one positive note to start, at least, you know, keeping it under wraps. The past like 4 videos that you've seen, or 3 videos, I was playing smaller stakes, practicing like just having a good mindset, mentality, something that's healthy, you know, trying to not feel like I needed to ignite more of money that I cannot afford to ignite on fire. So that was good practice that I did there. That was the main like preparation, was just like a mindset thing. Second, I ended up cashing out. So I was in for 200,000, cashed out for $473,675, which is a very good profit. Like I said, you know, I started this video down 40K in the bankroll challenge, and I was like, anything can happen. You can always, if there's ever a game to like crawl out of a 40K hole, it's this one, because 40K certainly can be erased in a very few hours, and luckily it happened today, all from one singular hand. The one thing that I really wanted to make note of was just how very silly this poker game is in terms of variance and such. Like over the last 5 months, let's say, I have lost a lot of pots, a very high significant percentage of pots that I've played, but none of them have been very big. Outside of the one hand that I lost to Han for $300,000, everything else has been relatively small. And it's just like, of course, on this one perfect day, one perfect scenario where everything lined up, like the stars were aligned for me to win almost a $500,000 pot with kings. Nevertheless, am I in this situation with kings, and I'm a heavy favorite. Also, on top of that, I freaking held to be lucky enough to hold when you're like an 80% favorite or whatever, 75% favorite to win the hand is incredible. You know, there was no queen on the board, there was no ace on both runouts. So yeah, it's just silly. You know, it's just about like showing up, I guess, and being in the right spot in the right moment. And today was definitely a culmination of that. So those are my thoughts. This is a very long-winded outro of me winning money, but it feels really good, and I wanted to like just at least have some sort of decompression of my thoughts, because I just got home like 5 minutes after the drive. So yeah, anyways, the bankroll challenge is now fucking back, and I'll have the graphics and everything here to the side of the total progress, but through 5 sessions, I have had 2 winning sessions, and I'm up over $230,000 now, give or take. So almost a quarter of the way there, but hey, poker's a very sweet game. We have a long road. I don't expect to get through this in like 3 sessions or something silly like that. Of course, we're going to ride the highs and lows as it comes, but thank you so much for listening to me rant. Thanks so much for following the journey. There's more to come, of course. So let's finish out this bankroll challenge. I have no timeline for this, but hopefully sometime soon. I'll see you guys on the felt. I'll see you guys in the next video. Leave a like if you're, you know, and made it this far, because that's always much appreciated. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, all those fun things. Trying to do some big things. Also doing like cool content stuff on Instagram, so follow me there, posting stuff daily. I'll see you guys in the next one. Signing out. Later.